Hey Baldies, what's good? Welcome back to another video. And if you're new here, my name is Ashley Nicole. Welcome to my channel where we do all things lifestyle, wellness, and faith. And if you saw the title of today's video, then you already know what we're gonna talk about. So sit back, grab you a glass or two, and enjoy this really crazy story time. Now, before I actually get started with the story time, let me say this as a disclaimer. I have no ill will, no anger, no hatred, none of those things towards the person that this video is about. We have since spoken since all of this transpired, and honestly, I have so much love for her. Even if we're no longer friends, if we're actively not communicating, I still care about her. So this video is not intended to be shady. It's more so just about growing pains that I've experienced in my 20s that I truly feel like can help other women or other people in general. And let me also say that I have an amazing group of friends. I am so blessed that I have been able to cultivate friendships throughout the years that I can still call and count on for all this support. Friends that I've known since middle school, friends that I've known since high school, friends that I met in college, in my sorority, in my career field, at work. Even a friend I met just as recently as last year. And we've already been on vacations together. We've already gone out of the country together. And she's actually the one who inspired me to make this video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the story time. This friend actually started out as a coworker. We worked together during pretty much the entire COVID crisis. And upon my first time meeting her, we didn't really hit it off. Like, it was kind of a hey and bye. I really did kind of consider her just a coworker. And fast forward, like we're in the thick of the pandemic, we began to bond over things, and I won't be too personal in this video just because these are things that she shared with me and things that I shared with her, and I would never put anybody's personal business on the internet like that. But we began to bond over things that I had never experienced in any of my other friendships. And we started hanging out with each other. I was always going over to her apartment. She was always coming over to my apartment. That was my brunch babe. Like, we were gonna go get us some mimosas, Howard. We were gonna walk around downtown Memphis. We were going to go and take pictures and have photo shoots. Like, she was my girl. And it was really interesting because like I said before, I've never had a friendship like that. Like, I have a best friend. That girl is my soulmate. She knows who she is. I love her dearly as well. But this friendship was different in a sense where her spirit felt very familiar to me. I think the kids these days would call it like a twin flame. And she was beautiful and intelligent and funny, and she inspired me in so many ways, and I loved that about our friendship. And we rocked together so tough at work that if you saw her, you saw me. If you saw me, you saw her. Don't mess with my best friend type vibe. Like, everybody knew that we were a package deal. And I don't know, I really thought that we would be in each other's lives for a very long time. Fast forward to maybe a year into the pandemic, and she moved, she relocated, which was fine because she wasn't far. And honestly, like, we had the friendship where she could have relocated to Alaska, and I was gonna find my way up to Alaska to spend some time with her. You know, it was a little difficult at first to go from seeing her every day to spending all these weekends with her, to not seeing her, to not spending time with her. But we still made time to FaceTime, we still made time to text. It was really almost as if nothing had changed up until something had changed. Really excited for her to move because I felt like this move would be a fresh start for her. It would be a fresh start for her fiance, and I just wanted my friend to be happy. So a few weeks after she moved, she did share that, you know, things were a little bit difficult for her. I do know that it can be difficult getting used to a new city, getting used to new people, experiencing new culture and all that stuff. And for her, it just was not the best experience overall. So I knew that she was going through some things and was not as vocal, was not as talkative. And she had expressed to me that the transition was a little bit difficult, which I can totally validate. You know, moving to a new city, being around new people, experiencing new culture, and everything just being totally different than what you're used to. So when she said that she was coming home for a wedding, I was over the moon. I was like, girl, yes, you just need to be back in Memphis. You need to be around your people. You'll feel better in no time. And we actually went to that wedding together as dates. She was actually helping me through a pretty emotional breakup at that time. So we were kind of leaning on each other. She was helping me through that. I was helping her through some personal issues. And then a couple of weeks later, we had a Secret Santa Friendsmas that we typically do every year in our larger friend group. And that was actually the very last time that I saw her. We left that entire setting with so much love and so much care and appreciation. We had literally been taking care of each other during that time that she came to visit. So looking back on it now and realizing that was the last time that we spoke, or the last time that we would ever see each other, it kind of reinforces the confusion of why things went the way that they did. Fast forward to 2022. It's the beginning of the year and our communication is a little different. She's slower to text back. She's not answering FaceTime calls, not really posting on social media. And of course, I don't immediately take it as, oh, she's ignoring me. I kind of just chalked it up to maybe she's still in a rough place emotionally. She'll reach out to me, you know, when she's ready to. So I did extend that message out to her like, hey, I'm not sure what's going on. I really hope and pray that you're okay. I'm always here for you, sister. You know I'll do anything for you. Just call me if you need me. And she would respond to those messages here and there. But there was never like an explanation of what was going on, even though she told me that she would tell me what was going on. And then eventually I just stopped hearing from her altogether. She wouldn't respond to any of my text messages. She wouldn't answer any of my calls. And all of her social media is gone. So at this point, I'm like, do I need to call 911? Are you missing? What's tea? What's good? What's happening? The larger friend group that we were all a part of kind of had the same sentiment. They were a little bit worried, especially because I had not heard from her. Because remember, if you saw her, you saw me. If you saw me, you saw her. So when she wasn't responding to me and not just the group text, everybody was a little bewildered. It wasn't until March of 2022 that I started to put two and two together to make 46. So I'm at brunch with two of the other women from the larger friend group that we were a part of, and we were kind of just talking about how worried we were about how no one had heard from her. When one of the friends mentioned that, you know, she saw her on Instagram on the Explore page, and I was a little dumbfounded because I'm like, well, no, she doesn't have an Instagram anymore. And she pulled it up. And sure enough, this was a brand new Instagram page. I scroll on it and she's not following anybody. Like, we have no mutuals in common. And I'm thinking, that's a little weird. And I saw that this was, I guess, a calculated move to where she had shedded her old life and deleted all of her old social media and created new social media and purposely did not communicate this information to anyone. I remember immediately feeling very hurt by what I had seen, and also kind of beating myself up that I was taking it personal in the first place, because I say that she ghosted me, but she really ghosted everybody who was a part of this particular journey for her, and I could not understand why. The following month comes, and it's also her birthday month. And I just remember sending her this very long and detailed message where I was like, I love you regardless. You are my friend at the end of the day. I support whatever decisions you had to make for your mental health. And I hit send. And my heart was racing because in my mind, I'm like, well, what's the dialogue going to be like? Like, how do I approach the situation if she responds back to me? What if she doesn't respond back to me? What do I do? And y'all, the message turns green.
Damn.
My heart literally shattered into 1,000 pieces when I saw that. The first thought I had was, oh my gosh, she blocked me. So I called the number and the number is out of service. I later ended up seeing some videos on my Explore page on Instagram of her basically saying that she had to cut everybody off from her old life. She had deleted all of her old socials and created new ones. She had changed her phone number and just wanted to exist as this being that she is, with new people and new experiences and new feelings. And that was so hard for me to deal with, y'all, because I could understand if there was an argument or an altercation, or even if the friendship was toxic or unhealthy in any way. But in my perspective, it wasn't. And so leaving the friendship with not so much as a goodbye was extremely hard for me to digest. I did not realize until that happened that friendship heartbreak 20 times worse than if a man breaks your heart. Like, that's the type of grief I never want to experience again. Then I eventually gained perspective, and I talk about this in another video on my page, and I can link it in the description, about the art of detachment. And it made me truly understand and realize that no matter what her reasons were for ending the friendship, whether I agreed with them or not, she was entitled to do so because she's her own being. I have no ownership over her. I have no ownership over our friendship. And when it ends, if it ends, I have to take what I learned from it and apply it to the rest of my life, apply it to other relationships. And it took me getting my heart broken in that setting to truly understand that it's okay to practice detachment in every relationship that you have. And in doing so, I think that I was able to forgive her. It took some time. Because I missed her. Fast forward a year after that, she actually reached out to everybody that she had ghosted and had said something along the lines of like, hey, I'm back from the dead. And it's funny because when I was in therapy, my therapist and I had ran through all these scenarios of how I would respond if I ever saw her again, or if, we ever got in contact. And I was very like, well, I don't know if I want to talk to her. A whole bunch of lies, because I love that girl, okay? Because it all went out the window as soon as she reached out. And her reaching out, I felt some type of way. I was like, you can't just blow out and then blow in like the wind. But then also you kind of can, because I missed you, girl. Catch up a little bit. How life has been for her, how life has been for me. But something felt so different. She was the exact same. The conversations were the exact same, but it felt so different. I did desperately want for the friendship to come back. I wanted to have a conversation first where I explored a little bit more of what was going on in her life as to why she made that choice. But it never happened. The conversation kind of fizzled out, and I actually think that we haven't spoken to each other via phone in about 2 years. Friends basically ghosted me, and I never saw her again. And I still look back on our memories, like they'll pop up on my phone occasionally. And now when I see those memories pop up on my phone, or even when I see her post on social media, because we are friends on social media, I don't get sad anymore. I just remember a time where I had an amazing best friend, even though it was a very short-lived friendship, and I want the best for her still, and I still love her and care about her, and I'm able to move on and it doesn't hurt anymore. I will never actually know what was going on in her life around that time. I will never actually know why she made the decision to go about it the way that she did. But I no longer require the closure. And in experiencing that, it did teach me to be a little bit more careful with what energy I give out to people and what energy I allow people to give out to me. And now I have the best group of friends that I could have possibly ever wanted. I have been in a space where I have embraced every single experience that God has given me, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. And let me just say, God has done his big one. And I think a message that I would love to just give to people is not being afraid to put yourself out there when it comes to making friends. I promise you, the reward on the other side is definitely worth it. So let me know in the comments below, what have your experiences been like as a 20 or 30 something year old trying to make friends in adulthood, trying to keep friends in adulthood, or even being ghosted by friends in adulthood. Until next time, with love from Ashley Nicole. Bye, y'all.